Hello, this is Fayme Harper. Happy holidays! My friends at allfreeknitting.com asked me to share a quick and simple knitted scarf for you for those last minute gift ideas. Get yourself some holiday yarn and size 7 or 8 straight knitting needles. If you can't find any variegated yarn, you can use red, white, or green yarn. This is a good pattern for beginners because it's all knitting. It's garter stitch. Go ahead and put a loop on the needle. Cast on using your favorite method. Go ahead and cast on 20 stitches. Don't pull them too tight. After you've cast on 20 stitches, turn the needle around, and from now on we're going to knit every row like so, going across. When you're knitting, the yarn is in the back. There we go. Knitting right along. You're going to knit 10 rows. If you'd like to, you can use a stitch counter, a row counter to keep track. I usually just use a pencil and a scrap paper and write little tally marks so I don't forget which row I'm on. The variegated yarn makes it easy to see where your stitches are going. On row 11, we're going to make 2 buttonholes. To do that, you're going to knit 5. And then bind off 5. 1. To bind off, you pick up the stitch on the right and pull it over the stitch on the left. 2. To bind off, you pick that stitch up, pull it over. 3. 4. 5. This is the 5th one. Now go ahead and knit, let's see, 4 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to cast off 5. 1, 2, 3. Just take your time. I'm trying to go fast so the video's not too long. 5. And then knit to the end, which is 2 more stitches. Knit off the last 2. 1, 2. Turn. Now the next row we have to add in the stitches we just got rid of. So go ahead and knit the first 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to what they call make a stitch. So this is a little tricky with the camera. Wrap it around your thumb. Pick up a stitch. 1. Make them loose. 2. Because we're going to have to go back in them in a second. 3, 4, 5. I just made 5 temporary stitches. Cool, huh? Alright. Get your end squared away. And then we're going to knit again. All the stitches until we get to the next gap. Then we're going to park our needle for a second, wrap it around your thumb, add 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and loose, 5. Alright, now get your hand squared away again, and then knit to the end. Right. This is so we can fasten our scarf when we're done. Alright, there we go. You can see the little holes there? Now we're going to knit the next row just like it was a regular row. And I'll walk you through it. 1, 2, 3. Now when we come to those where we added them, just treat them like regular knitting stitches. Go in the back door. You're going to have to fudge with it a little because it's going to tighten up on you. I'm not sure I can do it and reach over the camera at the same time. There we go. 1. Just go slow. Make sure you get all the plies. Yarn wants to split into separate plies. So I'm just going to do this. There we go. Just go slow and pick them all up again. Now here's all the stitches I picked up, and there's the buttonhole. So there'll be 2 buttonholes on this row. Now the rest of the scarf is knit every row until it's a certain length. So turn on your favorite movie, put up your feet, and knit, knit, knit. Now you're going to want to lay it down to measure it because you don't want to stretch it. This is a stretchy pattern and you're not going to get an accurate measurement if you pull on it. I made my scarf 27 inches. If you want to make yours longer, you can. It has a bit of stretch to it, so it's going to stretch around and fit my neck just perfectly. But it's your scarf, so if you feel like you want to make it a little longer, put more time into it, it's up to you. Now I'm going to cast off. So what I did was knit 2 stitches. I'm going to take the stitch closest to my right hand and pull it over the other stitch, and now I have 1. So I'm binding off stitch by stitch until I have only 1 left. When you have 1 stitch left, go ahead and cut off the end, loop through the last stitch to tighten it, and you're going to weave this end in, and the knitting part's done. Now we get to do the trimming part. Now fold your scarf like this. Here's the 2 buttonholes. That's where you're going to sew the bells. So take a safety pin in each hole and mark where you want the bells to be sewn on. You can use whatever color you like. Take a piece of wire, fold it in half, and use it to thread the yarn through the back of the bells. Okay, I've got my wire and my scrap of yarn. I'm just going to thread 3 bells onto my sewing strand. Now if you'd rather just use a large red, white, or green button, you can do that as well, but I like the festiveness of bells. Now I'm just going to sew them onto my scarf. Just use your yarn needle, or you can just use a tapestry needle and dental floss, because the bells are sharp right here, so you want to use some strong thread, and just sew them right on. I'm sewing the bells on in 2 groups of 3. If you have a bigger bell, you can just sew 1 on. To put it on, you wrap it around your neck, put 1 buttonhole around 3 bells, 1 buttonhole around the other 3 bells, and that's how it goes. I recommend hand washing because of the bells. And there we have a holiday scarf. Happy holidays!